So, have you ever actually looked at your organization's IT budget and just wondered where all the money goes? It's kind of this massive, multi-million dollar mystery. Across industries, experts estimate that anywhere from 20 to 40% of IT budgets literally just vanish into thin air. But where exactly are these corporate resources secretly draining off to? 80%. Yeah, you heard that right. Research tells us that an absolutely astonishing 80% of all organizational data is just ROT. That stands for redundant, obsolete, or trivial. Your servers are basically overflowing with it right now, and it is quietly, persistently eating away at your bottom line every single day. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the invisible enemy, uncovering the hidden data factory. We're going to shine a spotlight on the unseen forces that are draining corporate vitality and really show you exactly how to stop the bleeding. Here is our roadmap for today. First, the invisible resource stream. 2, inside hidden data factories. 3, death by corporate paper cuts. 4, high-stakes data disasters. 5, the root cause data debt. And finally, 6, governing the unseen asset. All right, let's jump right into part 1, the invisible resource strain. Think about it this way. Data doesn't obey the normal laws of physics. It's not really visible. Because data doesn't deplete when you use it, and, it doesn't take up physical floor space in a massive warehouse, it is incredibly easy for organizations to just completely ignore the massive costs of maintaining bad data. I mean, if a physical factory floor was covered in 80% broken, rusted parts, you'd see the scrap heap instantly, right? The manager would literally halt production. But a digital database, well, it hides its waste perfectly behind humming server racks. So, if all this waste is totally invisible, what exactly is churning it out? That brings us to part 2, inside hidden data factories. This is where we put a concrete name to the problem. The term hidden data factory was brilliantly coined by data quality expert Tom Redmond. A hidden data factory exists when downstream departments silently fix bad data sent to them from upstream teams, rather than, actually addressing the root cause. Why does this happen? Usually, it's just human psychology in siloed departments. Instead of going back to tell the source that their data is wrong, which takes time, bureaucratic effort, and maybe causes some friction, well-meaning employees just fix it themselves on the fly, every single day. And that creates a sprawling, undocumented shadow operation. Let's look at how this cascading cycle actually operates in practice. Step 1. Department A delivers data with errors. Maybe a customer name is formatted wrong, or a product code is just missing a digit. Step 2. Department B gets tired of constantly asking for corrections, so they just silently fix it to get their jobs done. Step 3. Department C receives that data from Department B, finds new inconsistencies from those quick fixes, and ends up fixing Department B's fixes. It's this ridiculous, completely undocumented game of digital telephone, and it creates immense waste way before a product or service ever reaches the actual customer. And this everyday reality leads us perfectly into part 3, death by corporate paper cuts. You see, it's not usually one massive, explosive failure that bankrupts an IT budget. It is, as the source material puts it, many, many, many unnecessary paper cuts. Ungoverned data slows your progress down, it decreases the overall quality of your work, and it completely bogs down daily operations. Your team is essentially bleeding time, morale, and financial resources, just one tiny formatting fix at a time. When we compare a healthy system to a hidden factory, the contrast is pretty stark. A healthy data flow is fast, cheap, and low risk. Data gets entered correctly once at the source, and it just flows seamlessly. But the hidden data factory, it is inherently slow, incredibly expensive, and high risk. Knowledge workers are forced to constantly migrate data, convert file types, and manually rekey information. Instead of innovating, your highest paid talent is essentially doing digital janitorial work. It's just a massive waste of human potential. But what happens when these little paper cuts start to compound? What happens when a silent error slips through the hidden factory unnoticed on a global scale? Let's move to part 4, high-stakes data disasters. We're shifting now from everyday inefficiencies to catastrophic, real-world data failures. Take the 2008 financial crisis. Barclays was purchasing assets from Lehman Brothers, and they deliberately hid 179 rows in an Excel spreadsheet of toxic contracts they absolutely did not want to buy. But a junior associate reformatted the file to make it look clean for a PDF conversion. Those rows were accidentally unhidden. The document was submitted, and Barclays was legally forced to buy all of those assets. No way, right? Or look at the UK health system during the height of the pandemic. They used an old Excel file format to track positive tests. Well, that specific legacy format literally dropped rows of data after a certain row limit without any warning. The result? They severely underestimated COVID cases by the thousands, failing to trace highly contagious individuals. Mundane data entry errors, if left in the hidden factory, can have massive organizational-altering consequences. Now, this unseen data management structure isn't just a corporate issue. It manifests in the public sector too. Unchecked government databases, like certain fusion centers, sometimes operate with similar unseen data flows. The sources highlight 4 characteristics of these unchecked systems. 1. Perpetual duration, meaning standing authorizations that never expire. 2. Universal scope, pulling data from pretty much everywhere. 3. Discretionary power, where access is governed internally without judicial oversight. And 4. Delegable authority, where data is shared widely across multiple agencies. Objectively, this serves as a massive example of a hidden data factory, an unmonitored flow of biometric and personal data operating largely out of sight. It really demonstrates exactly how powerful and pervasive ungoverned data systems can become. So whether it's an investment bank, a national health service, or a government agency, what is the underlying disease causing all these symptoms? That's part 5, the root cause, data debt. Just like financial debt, data debt accumulates interest, and the reality is pretty stark. An estimated 30% and sometimes up to 40% of IT spending is essentially flushed away on migration, conversion, and improvement. Think about that for a second. Instead of driving innovation, launching new products, or upgrading your security, a huge chunk of your technology budget is being spent just trying to manage your data debt. You're basically just paying to clean up the mess created by the hidden data factories. Which brings us to our final section, the resolution. Part 6, governing the unseen asset. How do we actually fix this? The answer is proactive data governance. But what does that actually mean in plain English? The fundamental definition we use is managing data decisions with guidance. Notice it doesn't just say managing data. True governance is about guiding the business and IT decisions that are made around that data. It's about stopping bad data decisions before they ever reach the hidden data factory, saving your team literally countless hours of frustration. To understand this complexity, we use a CRUD matrix. That stands for Create, Read, Update, Delete. It maps out exactly how different business processes interact with data. And honestly, it proves why the concept of single department data ownership is completely flawed. A single piece of data, let's say a sales order, exists solely to be created, read, and updated across multiple different departments, from marketing all the way to logistics. Data is a shared enterprise asset, not just one single department's possession. So, to govern that shared asset, you need a solid structure. Structured governance replaces piecemeal hidden fixes with sustained organizational skill sets. Eliminating data debt requires a dedicated framework that bridges leadership, who provide the overarching guidance and strategic decisions, with the stewards and IT experts who actually implement the day-to-day actions. It treats data as a highly valuable, durable asset that requires cross-functional collaboration, and that is what effectively shuts down those hidden data factories for good. So, I'll leave you with this final, somewhat provocative question. Is your organization running on strategy, or is it secretly being run by a hidden data factory? It's time to uncover your invisible assets, clear out that data debt, and stop the bleeding. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.